I have an interesting question. What is it like coaching Mike Williams, Sharon Peak, Artavis Scott, Travion, adding Dion, and maybe even Ray into that mix?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think obviously, as a coach, you're only as good as your players, and so it's something that it makes the recruiting part, obviously very important because you can see the direct correlation between how your unit produces and the kind of players that you're signing. But I think more than just the talent and the production, I really like our group because of the work ethic. We really try to have a blue collar work ethic and be humble, hungry guys. And I think wide receiver is a position that sometimes you can get some personalities that are, more kind of me guys, and that's something that I'm really proud of. Is the group that we have is worked extremely hard, but never really selfish group, and maybe has the talent to maybe sometimes feel that way, but they really take pride in the group production and not just one or two guys, and so that's probably what I'm most proud about for that group.
Is there a leader out of that crowd? Is there one guy that's the guy?
I think Sharon Peak has kind of been that guy. He's been here for 5 years now, and even though he's had some unfortunate luck with some injuries, he's a guy everybody looks up to. He's one of the hardest workers in the group, and he's definitely a leader. And then I think Mike Williams, Artavis Scott are guys that have started to develop some in a leadership role, and they do a good job for us.
When you have guys as talented as Dion and Ray are, is it a thing of we're going to find ways to get them the football, or are they going to dictate how much they play?
I think the thing that you have to be careful with, it's different with Dion and Ray from when Sammy and Sharon and those guys got here is now, we've seen freshmen come in and have a lot of success with Sammy and then, last year with Artavis. So you have to be careful and remember that those guys have to go out and earn it. There's a lot of work for those guys to do. Are they very talented? Absolutely. But they still have a lot to prove and a lot of work to be done before they're really put in that position. And I think now that we've had so many guys come in and have early success, that's something that we really have to talk about and be sure that we don't put the cart before the horse, if you will. But I think that's what August is all about. I'm ready to get on the field and work with those guys, and I think they have the right attitude. They're willing to go out and earn some respect and earn some playing time, and once they do that and get out there on the field, and we don't know exactly how they're going to translate, how quickly they're going to be ready to go, but the earlier they get out there and get comfortable with what they're doing, then obviously the more playing time they're going to get.
What reports do you get on those guys out of summer workouts?
Yeah, we talk to the strength coaches, and then I kind of lean on I talk to Deshaun and Sharon Peak and some of those guys to kind of get their feel for how things are going, and everything that we've heard so far in the summer has been very positive. And I'll ask about the young guys. I was actually talking to Artavis yesterday and trying to get a report on some of the freshmen, and not just how well they're playing and making plays, but their work ethic and details and those type of things. And so you kind of lean on your older players to get a little bit of update, but you truly don't know until you get on the field in more of a controlled practice environment. And but that's what makes it fun every year. If you knew what you had coming back every year, you wouldn't have the excitement, I think, that you have going into fall camp.
Jeff, have you done anything between this offseason to kind of prepare yourself for this new role you're taking on?
Well, I think number one, it starts before this offseason.
Yeah.
And I think as a coach and being around the game, you kind of know how it works, and if you have success, you're going to get an opportunity. So obviously the last 4 years, really it started when Coach Morris got here, and I knew really early on that, if I get an opportunity to be an offense coordinator, this is the offense that I want to run. And so that preparation starts over the last 3 or 4 years. And then obviously going into spring ball, there was a lot of work, but I think Tony and I probably spent more time in the film room this summer and, studying ourselves and also studying some other teams that we have respect and kind of watching the flow of the game, the play calls, those type of things. And so definitely it's been probably more film study than in the past. But I think a lot of the preparation's been done on both of our part the last 3 or 4 years.
Do you feel any different coming into this